Hi, my name's Angie Moore, and today I'm going to show you how I make my kefir, and then with that I'll be making my apple pie kefir smoothie. Let's get started. Set this over a bit this way. And there. Okay. So this is my kefir, and if I show you up close, you'll see that pockets on the bottom. It looks like water pockets. That's the kefir. That's the curds in the whey separating. That tells me that my kefir is ready. It's okay to leave it longer so there's even more separation. I've done that a lot, but that's good enough for today. If you can see it's really thick on top. There's solid stuff. But I just give it a stir so it can pour out and separate or strain a little easier. So I pour it into here. This is a nylon mesh strainer. You can use a strainer with bigger holes if you want to, but some of the little baby kefir grains might get loose if you do. So I just give it a little shake, and that's what I'm left with. You need roughly about a tablespoon of kefir grains per quart of milk. And that's about what I have there. Scrape a little more to get any little babies out. If you look after your kefir grains, you only have to buy them once because they keep multiplying. Okay, where am I going to put that? I'm just going to put that aside. And then I give the jar a wipe. I don't use a fresh jar every time I do a batch. It's not needed. And besides that, the kefir left over in the jar will help get the next batch going because there's still some beneficial bacteria in there. You know, kefir can contain over 50 species of bacteria and yeast. So I give the inside a little bit of a wipe too. Any part that isn't going to be immersed in the milk. Right? There. Now I do change the jar, once every 6 or 7 batches, I suppose. I'm not really sure how many. I don't count. I just go by if it gets crusty and on the outside and it's harder to clean, then it's starting to. In another batch or two, I might change this jar. See if I can get more off. But it makes it hard for the lid to go on properly if it gets all crusty on the outside here. Okay, so I've got this milk. It's grass-fed organic dairy milk. Of course, it's best if you can use raw milk. But I'm in Canada where it's illegal to sell. You can sell all the Coca-Cola you want and garbage drinks like Gatorade and caffeine drinks that kill people and give them heart attacks. You can sell that stuff all you want. Just don't try to sell raw milk, even though man's been drinking it since the beginning of time. Now I always put a fresh lid on my kefir on each batch. Set it out on the counter for 24 to 48 hours. I have this thing about that though. I like to put it in the fridge sooner. That's just for me because I like to slow the process down. After about 12 hours, I just put it in the fridge sometimes because I don't want to be drinking that much dairy, even if it's kefir. Now, a lot of people can't have dairy, they're lactose intolerant. But you know, the kefir bacteria eat up most of that. So most people, or a lot of people anyway, that can't drink milk can manage this. And that's pretty much the only milk I drink would be fermented. So there's a lot of different, there you are. There's a lot of different smoothies you could make out of this, but this is one I recently discovered, made up by myself. And I bought a bunch of apples, so I decided to put them in my kefir smoothie. So I put a bunch in here. I may not need them all. I'm going to put about that much in for now. That's about 2 apples right now, 2 good-sized apples. Then I put some cinnamon in. See, I don't know how much that is. I think it's at least half a teaspoon. Maybe I'll put a bit more. I love my cinnamon. That's probably a teaspoon. More than a lot of people would put in. But to finish the apple pie flavor, I'm going to put in some organic raisins. I don't know how many. I just put a handful in. See, I don't measure things when it comes to smoothies much at all. I'll just put a good handful in, and if I need more, I'll put more. Simple. So that's everything you need to make an apple pie kefir smoothie. I would also put some ice in, and I will be putting ice in. But I'm going to add some more things. A couple good-sized scoops of collagen powder. This is Organica. I think it's a Canadian brand only. I got it at Costco. It's grass-fed. If you want to know what kind I recommend, I like the Great Lakes brands that you can get on Amazon and different places. It's a lot more money though, and that's why I kind of got using this. I got it for a really good price. The Great Lakes one I like is in a green can. Pouring a bunch of concentrated minerals in there. And this is a great time to get my nutritional yeast in. It's full of protein, excellent protein. It's something like, I wrote that down somewhere. I was interested to know. 71% protein by weight. It has B vitamins, 16 amino acids, over 14 minerals, 17 vitamins, phosphorus, and easy to digest protein. So that's why I put that in. I'm going to keep it simple. I'll just get my ice. Hold on a sec. And not put anything else in there. I tend to put a lot of things in my smoothies. If you've seen some of my smoothie recipes in the group. But not in this one. Just keep it simple. But I do put a lot of ice in because I like my smoothies icy, and without the frozen bananas that I normally put in, it's going to need it. Now, oh, I know what else I could put in there. One more thing. If I could, there it is. You don't have to, but I like to put vanilla. Pure vanilla extract. And there was another thing too. I like also to put in nutmeg. I buy my nutmeg whole in these packages. Use the one I've already started. You can just buy the powder if you want, but I find this fresher, and it smells so good. So I just grate it in with a little, actually I usually use this side, with a little mini grater. And I don't know how much I put in, I just put a bunch in. I mean, maybe a quarter of a teaspoon or less. I don't know. I just go by taste. There. So put the lid on. This is going to be mighty loud for a second, so plug your ears. This is my high-powered blender. It's not a Vitamix, but it's just as powerful as a Vitamix. It's called a Jamba blender, and they are now discontinued. You can't even buy them anymore. That's okay. I keep seeing stuff floating around in there. I don't know what it is. I guess it was just air pockets. Boy, that got full. That's what happens with fermented things sometimes. It just kind of put some sugar. Oh, that was the raisins, I bet. But anyway, you put sweet stuff in there, and sometimes it just expands like that. Let me taste this. Yes, it's so good. It absolutely tastes just like apple pie filling. Yeah, I think I'll just leave it as it is. So then I get my favorite glass mug and my favorite glass straw. Fill it up. Look how thick and creamy it is. See, you can see the bubbles. That's from the bacteria. They're very happy right now. They liked the raisins, I can tell. So I take a sip. And that is really good. It's not as cold as I'd like it. My kefir was cold. I had it in the fridge. But how many ice cubes can you put in there? So I'm going to put most of this in the fridge. Certainly not going to drink it all at once. And I'll drink it more later when it's colder, but it tastes great. You can put extra cinnamon or whatever you want in there. I put a lot of stuff in my smoothies normally, but for this smoothie I do like to keep it simple. You can put things like chia seeds, hemp seeds, sunflower lecithin. Add extra other minerals, like I often add magnesium, potassium chloride. I don't put iodine in this smoothie. I'm afraid that the bacteria won't like the iodine. Even though I have read that iodine doesn't kill good bacteria. Just want to show off my t-shirt more. This is from J.P. Sears. But anyway, that's how I make kefir. And oh, I wanted to mention too, here's the kefir. If I wasn't going to use it right away, I'd pour it back into a jar like this, and then you could take some out or put it in a bigger jar. Take out half a cup or so, or even a cup, and fill it full of frozen blueberries or raspberries or strawberries, and that's called the second ferment. You can sit it out on the counter like that for another 12 hours, or you could put it in the fridge. I tend to put it in the fridge because the bacteria still like it. They eat up the sugar, because if you drink it after 12 hours, there's no sweetness left. They eat it all up on you. So if you're diabetic, or you just want to keep your sugars down because you're on a strict keto diet or anything like that, you can get your fruit that way and still get the benefit of the fruit without the sugar. So that's about it. Stay tuned later. I'm going to do a live video on how to make colloidal silver with my Noble Silver galvanizer. Thanks for watching. It doesn't want to turn off. I don't know. This is the first time I've made a movie this way. Oh, I know why. Because it's really not a touch screen. There we go. So take care.